Hi, it's Leslie. I am sitting here with my son. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Nate.
Yes, this is Nate, and he is in 10th grade, but he's going to help me by pretending to be a student that is working through Summit. And he hasn't seen this before, so I thought maybe it would help if we get fresh eyes looking at the Summit. So this is our week page, and this is where people should be filling in their goals. But I have a lot of students that want to fill in goals and then click it off that it's done when it's not done, and they're not getting attendance credit because they're not doing the work. They have to do the work. It has to show up in their progress and not just the week page. Okay, so I'm going to go to the year view for 7th grade. And what we are working on is this project, which is due at the end of this month, From Story to Screen. And it's all about what you see over here on Google Classroom. We are reading The Hobbit, and we're comparing and contrasting the movie and the book. So if I open this up, this project, here's the overview of what impact does the story have from it when it changes versions from film to a book and back again. So we had last week, we had 4 people show up to a lit circle, and many learners did not show up. So it's going to be harder for them to get a good score. But if I open this up, they were not so much to pick a role because it's very hard for us to pick roles, but to look and see what kind of roles there were. If you would actually have a lit circle, and Nathan, have you ever done one in your school?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? And
Yes.
have you taken on a role of any of these kind of things? Have you been a reporter, an illustrator, a timekeeper?
Timekeeper, yeah.
Okay, so you were in charge of making sure that people stayed on track when they were talking and not taking up too much time.
Yeah.
So there are roles for a lit circle, which was hard for us to do. So some of us that were in there, we just put our name and say that our peer group in cyber school is our family. But one thing that I was looking for was for them to come up with an open-ended question to talk about in the lit circle. So it has to be something that can't be answered by yes or no. You can't say, did Gandalf knock on Bilbo's door? So somebody could say,
Yes.
yeah. You need something that's open-ended. Nathan, do you know what I'm talking about when I say open-ended question?
Yes.
Can you think of one for The Hobbit?
Um, why do you feel Gandalf picked Bilbo to go on this journey?
That's a good one. That's a how question and feelings. And one of the things we notice in our lit circle is the difference between a book and a movie. When you're reading the book, you can read what the characters are thinking. When you watch a movie, you can kind of guess what they're thinking, and maybe sometimes if they show, if they have like an audio and their lips aren't moving, but they're thinking. But it's really hard to do that on film. Much easier for you to understand their inner thoughts in a book. So that's one open-ended question. All right. They also had to come down here and write about the setting for The Hobbit. Nathan, can you take a guess what the setting for The Hobbit would have been?
Well, at the beginning, they were in the Shire.
Shire?
Yeah, the Shire.
Okay.
And yeah, and then they're on a journey
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Well, we had a big discussion that this setting,
Oh, like time, like
well, that
it's Middle Earth. That's the setting, Middle Earth.
right, Middle Earth. And is this a real actual place?
No,
No. So
I
this,
wish.
yeah, this is a fantasy novel, right? And it really reminds you of a lot of other fantasy novels. To me, anyway, it reminds me of a bit of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot like Harry Potter type of things, where magical things happen.
Although this is better than Harry Potter.
You think The Hobbit is better?
Yeah.
That'd be a whole different compare and contrast. How about the Percy Jackson series? Sort of that fantasy.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So yeah, this is this is a story that doesn't happen. The setting is not an actual place. How about the plot of the movie? The things that happen. What are the most important things that happen in this story? So if you don't know, if you go into the middle, the classwork page right here, I have the audiobook. Okay, if I click on this, I have the audiobook and a couple, this is the PDF, which is the book, but it's in a PDF form. Most people would rather do it this way because if you didn't know by now, this can be read to you. You can read it, you can listen to it. And it starts off very famously. Even Mr. Bainey knows how this book starts.
Chapter 1.
Well, chapter 1.
Listen.
In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort.
So right there, already in that very first paragraph, famous paragraph, in a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Even if you don't know what a hobbit is, not yet, you know that he likes things that are comfortable. So it already tells you about that character. I am recording. Okay. So the characters in this book, we already know that there's somebody called a hobbit. And we talk about Bilbo Baggins. His name was Baggins. Okay. And not too much further into the story about his family, you're going to meet another main character. And there's his name.
Gandalf.
Gandalf. Okay. So there's going to be some things that you might want to remember about Gandalf because you're going to be filling things out. And the beauty of this audiobook is that you can copy and paste so that when we get to the second checkpoint, going on checkpoint 2, the story and the film notes. Okay. There is a graphic organizer that you can fill out. I would choose compare and contrast, the mild version. Oh wait, no, that's talking about a little match girl. I do not want that one. Not what I want at all. Get back out of that.
You gotta go to the other. Go to the other page.
I do want to go to the other page.
That says from story.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna go here. There it is. This is what I was looking for. Some notes. If I close this up a little bit, I can copy and paste. So what you're looking for are some quotes, the evidence. And I would start right here with what Gandalf says, because what he says here is actually kind of a little inside joke and leads you to his personality. Here's the quote. I'm going to control V it and it pastes it right in there. And then why is this something that gives you an idea about that character? Because in this quotation, Gandalf, the wizard,
It's spelled ALF.
thank you, Gandalf the wizard is already analyzing things that Bilbo says. Okay. Why is that powerful? This part of the book is powerful because why, Nathan?
been a while since I read it.
Well, I think because it gives the reader an impression of the intelligence of the wizard. Don't you think? It already gives you like this guy is kind of tricky because he says, when Bilbo just says one simple thing, good morning, all he says. And already the wizard is questioning. He says, what do you mean? Do you wish me a good morning, or mean that it is a good morning, whether I want it to be or not, or that you feel good this morning, or that it is a morning to be good on? Isn't that kind of tricky? Like, already he's making it difficult for poor little Bilbo by asking those kind of questions. Kind of like sometimes teachers are like that when they ask you a bunch of questions, like, quit making it so hard. All right.
Like, can I go to the bathroom? I don't know. Can you?
Yeah. All right. So there was one quote, but maybe we should look at what Bilbo says back. And he says, oh, it's almost like a tongue battle. I mean, he's already like all of them at once. And a fine morning. So there is a quote, copy, and I'm going to control V that to paste it in there. And why is that important? In this quotation, Bilbo, I guess he is not bothered. I mean, he doesn't find that the wizard is rude. Actually, he takes it pretty much in stride. Bilbo answers the wizard without being insulted. Quizzard. Okay. Why is that powerful? It's powerful because it gives one insight to Bilbo's gentle nature. I know I have a lot of spelling errors, but now he showed me if you just click right on the word, click on it, it will correct you. What's wrong with one? And I guess this needs apostrophe. Okay, that's easy enough, isn't it? Right? Let's go back. So now we have 2 checkpoints done. The third one is an essay outline because they're getting ready to write a compare and contrast essay. Do you do this often in school?
We've kind of moved away from outlines in 10th grade.
No more outlines?
Yeah.
And how do you, if you move away from outlines, how do you prep up to do an essay?
It's more of an optional thing.
Okay.
In high school.
Here, luckily, they already have a template. See that? It's really so easy because it's a fill in the blank. That make it so easy. All they have to do is fill in the blank with the quote, and what that quote, the things that we just said, the good morning quote, fill it all in and turn it in. That is really not hard to fill in blanks. What is hard is those folks that did not show up for Lit Circle. I don't know how they're going to get a score because the score is supposed to be on norms and active listening. To participate in a Lit Circle and discussions. So I'm hoping in order to bring that score up that they have really good questions. And as a matter of fact, the kids that showed up, I only asked for 1. Here it's asking for 6 questions in order to score. 6 open-ended questions. Can you think of any other open-ended questions on the top of your head?
How did Bilbo first feel about Gandalf and the dwarves arriving at his house?
Okay, that would have been a nice open-ended question. So there's one. Anything else? How about some other characters that might be in this story? In the middle of this book, there is a really fantastic character.
What's his name so I can...
You don't remember?
Well, the middle of a book has a lot of characters.
It is. Let me see. I go back up here, move this around. Oh yeah, I think it's in this chapter. Right there. String or nothing, shrieked the.
Oh, Gollum. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So
what was Gollum trying to keep as his own, I guess, but that's more of a one-word answer.
you need something that you have to have something is why did Gollum always call himself my precious? So that you're getting into Gollum's personality. Why
It's hard to ask questions about Gollum because you don't really know much about him unless you have read the other books.
Yeah.
Because they give detail into his past.
Well, yeah, but this is the first book.
Exactly.
But why does Gollum talk to himself? What do you think?
Well, you don't know from the first book. You have to read the other books.
I don't know. I think that you can probably make an inference.
Okay, what do you think?
I think he's been down there all by himself, that he's kind of developed a split personality. He has nobody to talk to. So he has himself and plus his other personality, who he calls my precious. And those, if you watch that movie and read this book, you're going to see that the characters like split and talk to each other. Yeah? You don't think so?
I know what the actual answer is because I've seen the other movies,
Okay.
but that's for a different time.
Okay. Anything else about the Golem?
No.
How about how does Bilbo trick the Golem?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Okay, those are 3 good examples.
Okay. But they have to have 6 questions.
Okay, well, if you put all 6, you're giving them questions to put down.
Away?
Yes.
How about like what did Gollum look like? What did
Okay,
Gollum,
that's enough
what
questions
did
for
Gollum
now.
want so much? What was he keeping?
That's a one-word answer. That's not a good discussion question.
Okay. Why was that ring so important to Gollum?
Well, again, you don't know that unless you've read the other books.
You can't get
That gives you
like,
that answers all those questions. The other books answer all those questions.
what a discussion.
This one doesn't. This one doesn't summarize anything about Gollum. This one leaves Gollum at a dead end, so you have to read the other books if you want to find out about him. Gollum is only in this book for a short amount of time. In the other books, he's in it like the whole time.
And you don't think that you can get a good idea about this character in this book?
No.
Feel not.
I know so. Okay?
Uh-oh. I'm going off. Okay. All right, so they've got to come up with more questions. That is for the final thing that they turn in. There's 6 questions. And then comes the dreaded essay. Now I am still teaching essay the way that I have taught it for 5th grade, which is the 5-paragraph essay. So what do you think, Nathan? How could you get a really good essay in 5 paragraphs? What would you do?
Well, you have to have a good topic paragraph. Your first line needs to be a hook. I use quotes, and that's always the best way to go because teachers love that. Then it explains what you're going to be stating in each paragraph. And then the final line of your paragraph, always the final line of the first paragraph, will be your thesis statement. And it has to clearly define what you're arguing in the paragraph or what you're going to be explaining in the paragraph.
And because this is a compare and contrast between the book and the movie, what kind of things would be that argument?
Like,
Your argument and claim that the movie,
it has to be, you can't have any, like, in your thesis statement, you can't, like, have any doubt or anything. It has to be defined. It has to be, like, the main style differences between The Hobbit on screen and in the book are, and then say what your argument is.
okay,
Like, that would be a good thesis statement.
I see. And then there's 3 paragraphs in the middle. What could those 3 paragraphs be about?
They need to explain your topic. So basically, like, the first line of each paragraph, and it doesn't have to be this way, not for the body paragraphs anyway, have to be like thesis statements for the paragraph, like what you're going to be explaining in that paragraph. You need to show evidence, and then you need to explain it, and then that's claim, data, warrant. So claim, you're saying what you're going to be talking about, data, all the data that supports it, and then warrant is it explains so it makes sense, and that it's showing that it's true. And then you need 3 of those, and then you need a conclusion, which is not always going to be the strongest. And with your paragraphs, if you have 2 really strong paragraphs and then a weak paragraph, you might want to put the weak one in the middle so you're ending strong. So if a teacher's reading that, they don't think, oh, they just gave up at the end. So if you know you have a paragraph that's going to be weak, don't put it at the end. And then your conclusion is basically going to be wrapping up and re-explaining everything that you just explained, but shorter, like summarizing your essay. And then the conclusion sentence, just like how the thesis statement was the final sentence of the topic paragraph, your final sentence should be your overall conclusion, and it should be basically like a repeat of your thesis statement, just worded a bit differently. Up nicely.
I'm just wondering if that whole thing that you're saying about claim, data, warrant would not be in this outline that they have. There's that thesis statement that you were saying, and it gives them writing prompts. I mean, seriously, they can pull it all together by just typing in here, copying and pasting. There's the first paragraph, or after the introduction, right? And then
Yeah, topic sentence, explain how, explanation. That's just claim, data, warrant spelled differently.
Yeah.
So basically, you're writing an essay that is claim, data, warrant, and then each body paragraph itself is claim, data, warrant.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all good advice from a 10th grader that's been doing some writing. And I feel if they use this graphic organizer, they can get what you're saying about claim, data, warrant, intro,
Yes.
claim, data, warrant, 3 different paragraphs, and conclusion.
Yes.
Yes. So actually, to tell you the truth, This is not as hard as a lot of people think. It's pretty cut and dry to do that and just copy and paste it, put it into your end product. Yes,
Yes, very good. Okay.
just gonna put it in here with some quotations, like you said, looking for quotes, and put it in as their evidence.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not going to write an essay on screen right
Or
now.
not, no, but that is a good explanation of what they're supposed to be doing. And after that's all done, down at the bottom, submit all final products. Right?
Sure.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much for helping out.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm putting this in the Google Classroom, and guess what? Supper is ready. So I'm going to stop recording and upload this. Thank you.
Yeah.